What's up everyone? My name is Dora. Welcome to my channel. Today, it's all about bath scoops. Bath scoops are sort of like bath bombs, except that a scoop recipe will have a lot more wet ingredients. For instance, my regular bath bomb recipe has about 20 milliliters of wet ingredients, whereas a scoop recipe will have about 100 milliliters or more of wet ingredients. You can make any type of bath scoop that you want. By the way, you can find all of these scoop recipes on my channel. You can make bath bomb scoops, which are bath bombs that are scooped instead of molded. Bubble bath scoops, which have a powder surfactant like SLSA. Butter scoops or truffles, which have an abundance of natural butter and or oil. Nutritious bath scoops, like milk bath scoops that have lots of skin-loving ingredients. Or bath tea scoops, which have skin-loving ingredients plus dried herbs and or flowers. Today, I'm going to show you how to make bath tea scoops. As you may have guessed from the name, bath tea scoops are bath tea in a scoop form. They create a lovely, relaxing bath soak. You'll need dried herbs or flowers. I've purchased some, but most of the flowers I've actually dried myself. Every time my husband sends me a bouquet, I dry the entire thing. To learn how to dry herbs and flowers, click up here for the tutorial. These are flowers that I'll be adding to the recipe. Get them ready before you make the recipe. You can add any type that you wish, just make sure the petals or herbs are very small in size so they don't compromise the integrity of the scoop. As always, check out the description for the recipe, important information, updates, and the supply list. This is a very loose or soft recipe, so you don't have to follow it exactly or even close to get great results. I really wanted to add rose petal powder because it would have been perfect, but I didn't want it to change the color of my scoops as I had a very specific color in mind. The powder on the left is some that I bought and the one on the right is some that I made. To learn how to make your own rose petal powder, click the icon. Okay, so first add your base ingredients, which is always going to be baking soda and citric acid, then add additional skin-loving ingredients. I also added a tiny bit of SLSA to slow the scoop down in water so that it doesn't dissolve as quickly. You can use carrier oil or melted butter. I used hazelnut oil because it's the least greasy. Polysorbate is important here as it mixes oil and water together so oil doesn't pool or stick to the tub. I also added a little bit of mica for just a touch of color and a bit of sparkle. Add wet ingredients to dry and thoroughly mix everything together. The mixture will feel just like wet sand and hold together when squeezed. Now add your dried flowers. Not too much though, because you don't want it to interfere with the scoops holding together. I added a variety to get the color variation in my scoops. Fill the scoop until it's full, then pack it, but don't overpack it, and flatten the bottom out a bit. Flip it over, hover the scoop above your hand, and gently pull the lever to release the scoop. Be very careful as the scoops are delicate and break easily at this point, but don't worry because they dry rock hard. I have an entire scooping issues section in the description, but I have a few quick notes. For me, the big scoop didn't come out as tight or well packed. The scooper with the spring mechanism is too rough for the delicate scoop. The scoop ends up breaking. The best scoop I found is the medium scoop with a single lever. Add embellishments right after scooping while the scoops are still moist. I added a single hydrangea flower and a sprig of baby's breath, I think. If not, please correct me in the comments. Dry the scoops for 24 hours. This recipe makes 13 medium scoops exactly. The scoops are very delicate, but after 24 hours, they'll be very hard and sturdy. If you add a lot of dried herbs, you may want to put the scoops in a mesh, organza, or tea bag for easy cleanup. Package them in a heat shrink bag, a cute cup, or in a single serving size container like this. I got these at Temu along with a lot of other stuff I didn't need. It was one of those, I don't need this, but I'm sure I'll eventually find a use for it purchases. And what do you know? I sure did. They only fit medium scoops, but I'm still surprised that I used them at all. But how cute are they? Seriously, like how perfect are they for single size servings? The scoops are awesome. They take a few minutes to dissolve. The only thing is that they don't float, which shouldn't really matter because they're not supposed to put on a show and entertain. They're supposed to create a lovely bath soak, which they do indeed. The water is very soft and inviting and not greasy at all. Plus, it smells amazing. Even though the water isn't greasy at all, it sure does leave the tub very slippery. So please be very careful when you're getting out. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. For more awesome tutorials just like this, subscribe now. It's my face right there in the middle. Just click it.